Before we begin, tell us in the comments which country, which city, and what time you're watching this. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe because this tale isn't just about survival, it's about why even the enemy runs when help arrives. The battlefield was dead silent. That kind of silence only comes after the screaming stops. Plasma scorches still smoked in the air, and the stench of melted armor and flesh hung like fog. High above, the orbiting flagship Drexen's flame recorded the footage in stunned disbelief. The entire 23rd Shock Vanguard, 4,000 genetically enhanced warriors of the Xeric Dominion, was gone. Not routed, not retreated, gone. And in the center of the scorched crater, a lone figure crouched beside a fallen human soldier, blood pooling beneath him, breath ragged. A medkit in his hand, a simple Red Cross box cracked with age, its holographic latch flickering. He wasn't armed, not visibly. No weapon could be seen in his hand, but every commander in the galaxy knew if you see a human holding a medkit, you run. They hadn't always known this. Once the galaxy laughed at human medics, combat doctors. They'd scoff. How quaint. But that was before New Arcturus, before Kasari Prime, before the Kalari Uprising. Before entire battalions vanished from sensor logs with only biosignature interference and a single human medic's trail left behind. No weapons, just a kit, just healing, and yet devastation. The tribunal had demanded answers, not for justice but for understanding, because whatever these combat medics were doing, it wasn't medicine, it is warfare, whispered Admiral Zune of the Hilari Swarm. Warfare disguised as compassion. Commander VRN of the Varkari Dominion had been more blunt. They don't save the wounded. They weaponize them. He'd lost 300 soldiers on Ganath Delta to what his intelligence called a resurrection surge. Human units that had fallen, shot, burned, or gassed had somehow re-entered the battle, screaming, bleeding, firing like banshees. One had charged with 3 limbs missing. Another's heart had stopped 20 seconds prior. But the human with the medkit had whispered something, pressed a stim into a vein, screamed a war song into their ear, and suddenly the impossible lived again. So they rewrote the orders, every galactic army, every AI battalion, every mercenary code. If you spot a human holding a medkit, retreat, immediately, without engagement. Some commanders thought it cowardly, until they didn't return. The soldier's name was Isaac Rames, and he wasn't just a medic, he was the medic. Trained in Earth's post-Terra conflict zones, graduated from 6 battlefield trauma academies. He had operated on lungs underwater, rebooted dying brains mid-firefight, performed spinal surgery with nothing but a knife, a prayer, and a steady hand. But what made him a legend wasn't what he healed, it was what he inspired, because Isaac didn't just patch wounds. He brought soldiers back from death with something far more dangerous than medicine. Hope was the fuel of monsters, and in war hope was terrifying. The Krelvoth Legion had learned that the hard way. They'd surrounded an Earth expeditionary force on Vortek Ridge, 72 humans, no escape route, ammo nearly spent, rations gone, comms jammed. They expected surrender. Instead they saw Isaac. He moved from soldier to soldier like a phantom, injected one, patched another, whispered into the ear of a sniper who'd lost her trigger finger. She bit off her glove, aimed with her pinky, and killed 12 targets in 9 seconds. The Krelvoth weren't facing soldiers anymore. They were facing stories, legends with pulse rifles. Their morale cracked in minutes. Their commander detonated his own ship rather than report the failure. On Galnet, Isaac became myth. Angel of Adrenaline they called him. Saint of the Last Breath. God of the Red Cross. Some said he could bring the dead back. Others claimed he injected nanites that turned pain into power. A few believed his medkit was an ancient Terran artifact blessed by chaos gods. The truth, he was just a man who refused to let his people die alone. And that was enough. Years later, the Federation deployed anti-medic shock units, elite kill teams trained to eliminate medics first. They were slaughtered. Why? Because when you target the medic, you awaken everyone else. You think you're killing the weak, the support, but you're igniting the fury of the saved. Soldiers who would have bled out without that field stitch. Snipers who see because their optic nerves were rewired in a rainstorm. Tank drivers whose nerves were regrown after their spine was shattered. You don't kill the medic, because every life he touches becomes a storm. So now they fear the medkit, not because of what it contains, gauze, adrenaline, combat stim, nerve paste, but because of what it means. If there's a human with a medkit on the field, it means they're not giving up. Someone is still being saved. The dead might not stay dead. And worst of all, it means the real fight hasn't started yet. Isaac's story ended quietly, not in war, not in fire, but in a small outpost on the edge of the Orion Divide, where he trained new medics, taught them not just to heal, but to believe. And when the Federation finally sent peace envoys, they didn't ask for diplomats. They asked for him, the human with the medkit, because he had done what no weapon ever could. He had made death afraid of Earth. If you're still listening, now you understand. It's not about what's in the kit, it's about what happens after it opens. So like, comment, and subscribe, because even the enemy flees when hope walks onto the battlefield.